grateful to have you with us once again. We have a jam-packed show laid out for you today. You know, I always look forward to these opportunities where I can come to you and we can talk a little real estate, talk a little bit about what we have going on. So thank you, whether you're checking us out on our YouTube channel or somebody sent you the video. We definitely want to say thank you for joining and coming on board. As our agents come on, they'll have opportunities to ask questions. They'll have opportunities to make comments of some of the content that we're going to be talking about. We are continuing in our series where we're looking at how to become social media dominant, looking at a blueprint, a proven blueprint. So we're going to continue that here today. We are always looking to grow our firm. And so if you're sitting here and you're not a member of Brooks & Davis yet, then no worries. If there's something that stands out to you that you hear, that you want to learn more about our company, then come on by. You will get an opportunity to see a link. Click on that link and you can schedule that time to learn more about our company. So you will get that as well. So let's go ahead and jump into this thing and let's start off like we always do. Go ahead and share my screen. Too many moving pieces. All right, there we go. So we are on social media. I highly encourage the YouTube channel because that gives you, not only does it have practical information that where you can learn about who we are as a firm, who we are as a company and a culture, but you'll also get content that you can use to grow your real estate business, your realtor, or if you're a business owner. You'll also be able to see property tours of some of the properties that we have for sale. So it gives the best overall view of Brooks & Davis. All right, and then also we have our Facebook business page, which is a great place to go and again learn more information about some of the resources and things that we offer to our agent members, get snapshots and views of those things. And then we, you know, obviously we're with LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. So that's what I would encourage you to do. Again, I mentioned about the link. So if you hear something, you want to learn more about us, you want to talk more about that, then here's an opportunity to click on that link and schedule your online or in-person company introduction, and we can talk to you more about it. Like if you just feel like you're not in the right environment, which is something that we have been very intentional about as it relates to our environment, as it relates to our philosophy of being attractive, not chasing business, but attracting business. If you could use that type of guidance and that type of coaching, by all means, schedule an appointment and learn more about how we can assist you. All right, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, next, there we go. So also our agents, they get an hour of CE credit, you know, through our providership. That is something that we offer is CE credit. And that just speaks to, you know, just 4 simple tasks. Do those 4 simple tasks, and our agents are able to get an hour of CE credit every time they take part in our Create Your New Life. So now the title for today is Social Media Animation in Real Estate. Today we're going to be looking at how to, you know, as it relates to our social media strategy, which is what we've been talking about, how to take animation, how to take drawings and cartoons, how to take video slideshows, incorporate that into your strategy to offer up some diversity, you know, and give your social media strategy, you know, some color. So that's what the idea is today. We're also going to, you know, talk about our mission at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm that we execute daily, as well as, you know, an opportunity, and I briefly touched upon it, but I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about how our agents earn that elective CE credit. And then I'm going to show you, reveal to you all a way now that from our virtual real estate rerun that we held a couple of weeks ago, how now there's an opportunity for people to continually revisit that. All right, so our quote for today actually comes from the guru that we've been studying here over the last, say, I think this is our 3rd episode, Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk himself. And what he says is, social media is not a fad because it's human. Social media is not a fad because it's human. And when you sit down and you really think about that, he's right. All social media is a vehicle for human beings to connect. It's a better way, a different way for human beings to get engaged and to see what it is that we're doing for us to stay connected. And the reality is that it's even more apropos these days because of like the coronavirus and the situations that we have going on with corona. So social media is one of the things where it talks about when we hear social distancing, and the reality is that we don't have to be in the same place to remain connected. And that's something that social media is able to do for us. So he's right. Thank you, Gary V. Social media is not a fad. It's not something that's going away. And the reason is because it's human. It's a different vehicle and a different opportunity for us to connect as individuals. All right, perfect. So now, one of the things that we do on a regular basis is that, well, every time we have these sessions, is that we do our moment in core. And our moment in core is just an opportunity for us to take about 60 seconds and spend some time revisiting the elements we are as a real estate firm, right? And that's our core ideology. So our core ideology is made up of 3 distinct functions, or 3 distinct parts, I'll say that. One part is our core goal. Then we have our core mission, which we're going to talk about today. And then we have our 5 core values. So our core mission, as you can see here on the screen, is to create a greater experience for every stakeholder of the real estate community. So this is our mission. This is what our goal is, you know, and some may consider it mission impossible, as the slide says. But our goal is as it relates to the experience that we deliver or that we offer through our through this real estate landscape. Our goal is to offer the greatest experience, and not just for our clients, but this is also for anybody that's involved in the transaction, whether that's the other realtor on the other side of the transaction, the title company, whether that is the lender, inspector, the appraiser, just whoever, right? We want to make sure that when they're doing business with us, that experience, they have the greatest experience. So every day as we approach things, as we approach business, we approach it from a standpoint of making sure we're offering the greatest experience. All right, so we're excited about that. We're excited about executing that mission, and that's what gets us out of bed every day. That's what gives us the juice. Give us the juice. All right, so the next thing that we go into is that we begin to look to see from a level of production how things are looking. Well, you know, I was super excited last week. And the reason I was super excited last week was because we had finally do what we had set off to do at the beginning of the year. And that was to go 1.5 million, we was roughly at about $1 million that we would carry at any given moment, right? The amount that we had in escrow, an average, we'll say running average, to go from about $1 million, and our goal was to hit $5 million. Well, we hit $5 million last week, and I was super excited. But guess what? It's like once we hit that, we just exploded as far as what's taking place. So I am so super excited about, I mean, look, the reality is that this thing, and we're pushing this thing fast. So congratulations to everyone that brought in new production over the last 7 days. And this is over the last 7 days, $1 million worth of production within a 7-day period. I mean, that in itself is a record. It's got to be, right? Matter of fact, that's almost 2 million in a 7-day time frame. So Brooks and Davis is kicking ass. Man, I got the curse. I got to say it just so y'all can feel the color of what this is all about. We are kicking ass, and we are excited about that. So congratulations for everybody that brought on new transactions, put new stuff in escrow. We're above we're at 7.2 million total production in escrow right now. I mean, that's phenomenal. Congratulations to those that are in the top 3, right? So Kendra Wheaton, was able to now become the #1 producing agent currently at Brooks Davis Real Estate Firm. So congratulations, Kendra. Kendra. And then we have Kendra. So something about these Kendras being at the top of the list. But Kendra Kaufman, congratulations to her as far as being #2. And then Chika Moma coming in at the #3 spot. So congratulations, ladies. Keep pushing it. Look, that's a lot of money in that payout. That's a lot of money in that payout. And you should want to be having your name on this list. You want your name to be here somewhere. So what you got to do, take advantage of the coaching. Obviously, let's put together a game plan. Let's start talking about tactics on how we can approach it and get your name on the list. Continue to get this number high. Get this number higher. I mean, look, since we hit the 5 million mark, let's shoot for 10 at this point. Let's see if we can carry 10 million at any given moment. So let that be our next goal. We'll hit it in increments of 5 and see how fast we can get there. See how fast we can double that thing and then keep it there, right? So congratulations, lady. Also want to welcome our newest Brooks and Davis member. She is an affiliate member, Constance Watts. We want to welcome her to the family. Welcome, Constance. She was scheduled to take her test this week, but I believe there's something that happened that's pushing it back. But that's cool, Constance. We're still with you. We're going to work with you to get things taken care of for you and get you over the hump and get you past that test. But we definitely want to welcome Constance as our newest affiliate member of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Welcome, 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 Constance. All right. So before we jump into our topic for today, let's go ahead and look at some proprietary programming, right? So proprietary programming, this is something that we do on a consistent basis where we highlight options, all the different options and things that we offer to our agent members. So we do that through our proprietary programming. So I always start out with the murals so you can just see the multitude of things. Like the mural just represents all of the value that pours out of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, again, to put us in a position to where we are attractive. Not chasing business, not chasing realtors or members to join our firm, but attracting them to us because of the value and the things that we put out on a consistent basis. So that's what the mural is all about. So the one that I want to talk about today is the Create Your New Life. Because the Create Your New Life was really one of the first pieces that I felt that we could put in play that would differentiate us from other real estate brokerage firms. It was my opportunity to get more of me to my agents. A lot of the content and the ideas and the topics and the substance that we talk about on a weekly basis, as we can record it, save it on our YouTube channel, like that stuff, that information, that substance is there for perpetuity. For agents, way after I'm long and gone and we're long gone, will still be able to access that content. And, you know, maybe they're selling planets at that time, selling meteorites to people. But they'll still be able to use some of the core principles as it relates to sales. So that was the idea. Well, you know, it evolved, and that's where we brought in the opportunity to where, you know, because originally it was like, if we could just have these sessions, we could come together digitally. So this was years before COVID-19, right? Because we've been doing this. This is our 140th episode. So, you know, that's almost 3 years of episodes. So, you know, the reality is we've been doing this way before COVID-19 said Zoom needed to kick in the dough. We was all about video meetings, right? We was trendsetters. But that was the thought, that if we could connect virtually without forcing agents to have to come into an office or things like that, and we could still connect, we make it work. And if we could record those sessions, even better. So that was the original thought. So we did that, we implemented that, and then we added the CE piece, right? Because if we're going to come together virtually and we're going to spend an hour together, hey, why not be able to get an hour of CE credit? So that's when we got the providership. So now we can offer the hour of CE credit. So it's, you know, it is a phenomenal platform, being able to utilize this, doing it on a consistent basis, having that level of continuity. And we just have a host of topics. You know, one of the newest things that we introduced this year was the series. Maybe I think we introduced it last year, the 10-part series. So now instead of just doing, you know, a video here or a topic here or a topic there, we take larger topics and we break them into chunks, which again allows for us, after it's all said and done, package the series up in a playlist, and then boom, we can send it out. So, you know, that's what we did as it related to shifting markets. We have a series for that. And we have our series when it talks to negotiation and how to split the difference. And now we're doing one as it relates to being a dominant force in social media. So, the Create Your New Life has been an excellent vehicle to help grow and develop our agents that we've been utilizing. All right, so another thing that I want to share with you guys and gals is we have, let's see if I can do it this way. So you all know we did our virtual real estate rerun a couple of weeks ago, and what I was hearing, people were like, you know, are you gonna do it again? Are you gonna replay it? You know, how can I get, for those that attended, you know, how could I get access to what y'all talked about? And guess what? We decided, we did record it. Yes, we recorded it. And I put on the screen where you can go and get the playlist for all of the 4 days of our first virtual rerun replay, right? So when you go there, you'll be able to see all 4 days, all the content, all the commentary. Let me show it to you. All the content, all the commentary, you'll be able to see it. So if you go to this website, or you just go straight to our YouTube channel and look for our playlist, you'll be able to see the virtual rerun playlist. So when you go there, you're going to see this. And it's going to show each day, day 1, 2, 3, and 4. It gives a little blurb about, you know, what it was about, right? So it was over a 4-day period. We replayed and discussed the top 15 sessions from the 2020 Inman Connect Now virtual conference. We was able to get tools, resources, specific guidance that you're able to implement in your realtor business to help you make more money and have more time. So it gives you a little blurb about it, right? And then each video,
can you dive into that a little bit?
As we replay them, so you see me watching, we're watching. I'm looking at it, giving commentary. but each one shows, you know, what we talked about for that day. So you don't have to guess. Just go into the description and see what we highlighted, what we talked about in each one of the sessions that we replayed for that day. So that breakdown is in there. So so now you all have access to it. You're welcome. We did it for you. We put it in a link, and you can go back and to your heart's content, look at and check out our virtual real estate rerun. I am excited about that. Yes, we did that. You are welcome. All right. So here we go, people. Now to the good stuff. Mr. Gary Vaynerchuk talking about making 64 pieces of content in a day. Talking about being a beast as it relates to social media, right? So as I scroll down to where what we're going to be talking about today, which is cartoons, drawings, slideshows, you know, we're going to look at some of the things that you all may have missed already. Some of the things that you may have missed already, right? So we started out with, you know, just looking at the platforms that we were going to be talking about. We talked about tweets, right, and where those fit as far as a platform. We talked about Instagram posts. So I think we did those two in episode 137. So if you missed that episode, go back to episode 137. You'll see us talk about Instagram posts and tweets. We talked about contextual content. That was in episode 138. So how things are contextual across the platforms. We also talked about memes in 138. And let's see, going down, slide decks. Yep, we talked about those in episode 138. And then last week, episode 139, we looked at the Notes app and how to utilize that as it relates to posting your thoughts. We also looked at a smartphone camera and how to utilize that in your strategy. Remember, the biggest thing that we're pushing is strategy. Whatever you do, you got to have a strategy, and you sit down and you implement it. Talked about live streaming, you know, which is something that we do as it relates to our Mastermind Through Tough Times, a live streaming show. So we talk about live streaming, and we get to today, cartoons and drawings. So now here's another one of those that I don't have much experience around cartoons and drawings. To be honest with you, I never even really thought about it. Because what it does is it kind of breaks the mold, offers some individuality and uniqueness and creativeness to the equation of posting on social media. So let's see what Gary says as it relates to cartoons and drawings. So now he says if you're more artistic, you could create cartoons, drawings, or comics. Now, I'm not artistic, so I ain't creating no cartoons, drawings, or comics. But if you are, you can create it. All right, so now he talked about a hack. He said pick one of your tweets that got more likes, comments, retweets than average. And then he says, now this is if you're more artistic, you can sketch and ink a cartoon using any digital drawing software or even a pen and paper to correspond to that tweet. So changing your mind is a strength, and this is what they did. If you change your mind 100 days in, that's a strength, not a weakness. First day of college, end of semester. All right, entrepreneurs, for my entrepreneurs in the building that didn't finish college, went out there and started their own business, those are people that Gary was talking about. So it could be a strength. and then he posted it on LinkedIn, he posted it on Facebook, and he talked about the views that he got. So that's an idea. He says there's 4 pieces of content because you can put it on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, or Twitter. So that's 4 pieces of content where, matter of fact, you can even recycle. You can even use that to recycle past posts, past content. So sometimes as a content creator, it's not about always coming up with new stuff, right? I think I said this last week. You have all the content that you will ever need. We make it, you make it. There we go. All right, now. So we were having technical difficulties. Sorry about that. All right, let's see. Where was I? Gary Vee. Boom. There we go. All right, so now we're back on it to Gary Vee. So he says cartoons and drawings. Now he says, notice the subtle copy differences on LinkedIn and Facebook. These are contextual. Remember, that was something that we talked about in episode 138. Contextual to the platform, which will help with results. So on LinkedIn, he says, if you change your mind in 100 days, that's a strength, not a weakness. If you change your mind 100 days in, that's a strength, not a weakness. And it looks like it's the same thing. What am I missing, Gary Vee? Oh, tripping. Looking at the wrong thing. So this is where the context is different. So on LinkedIn, he says, many feel the need to stick to decisions in business even after they realize it doesn't work anymore. We have to understand that changing your mind is a strength. But then on Facebook, he says, changing your mind is an incredible strength. It's time more people realize it. So he adjusted his commentary. Although he used the same cartoon, he adjusted his commentary based on the platform. Why? Because LinkedIn is more for business professionals, right? It's more polished. Facebook's more like a backyard barbecue, so people are going to be doing less reading, and it's more relaxed. So contextual to the platform, it helps with results. Now, Gary says you don't even need to be artistic to create comics. Okay, well, how so? So these are drawings. For example, this is a drawing he made on a whiteboard in 17 seconds. Drawing work, MFR. I'm not going to say that on there are certain curse words I'll say. I won't say that one. You know, he just says work. So he wrote it on a dry erase board. He took a picture of it, and then he posted a tweet. I drew this in 17 seconds. The fact that he measured it is hilarious. But, you know, he's not Van Gogh. Then he changed the quote and posted another tweet. Kindness is king. So what it's doing is it's just showing the variety in what you can do, again, to offer some a mix, so it doesn't look the same. It doesn't look routine. It doesn't look robotic. Continues to remain attractive. What you do on social media and your persona on social media and what you put out there, it offers that level of variety that'll keep people coming back for more and paying attention to it. So then he just talked about, he took a picture, posted it on Instagram stories, posted a short selfie video on Snapchat, and did a quick Instagram live as it related to this right here. So that's 5 pieces of content from a 17-second drawing. He was able to send out 5 pieces of content, 5 pieces of unique content within that time. All right. So he kind of categorized it. Time that it took to make varies, 17 seconds to 2 hours as it relates to cartoons and drawings. And now he's back to his running tally, 23 pieces of content, because remember, he's keeping track of all the content that he's doing. All right, so the next thing that we look at is video slideshows. So now with the video slideshows, that's where you can combine your pictures, screenshotted images, cartoons, quotes, or anything else you created into a quick video slideshow around a theme. Right? So on this one that Gary posted to Facebook, and again, this is another way to recycle content once you determine the theme that you want to go for. It says, the way you build culture is through your actions, not words. Wish more CEOs understood this. So in this company, what we really value is culture, people over profits. Okay, so more words. I guess that's a video that they did. So step 1, navigate to the back end of your Facebook, hit the multimedia option. So now this is something that I didn't know. So then click slideshow. Look at that. Add 3 to 10 images. So boom, add your images. So this is a video slideshow. So he took 4 cartoon images. So this is also kind of like a slide deck. We talked about that before, like a deck. But I guess on a deck is where you swipe. Video slideshow is that it just plays, right? So he took 4 cartoon images, combined them to create a comic strip. Slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, video comic strip. And it's just going to automatically play. That's pretty creative. So once you press play, it'll put it together. So then he says once he posted on Facebook, they downloaded the slideshow as a video, and they were able to post on other platforms. Again, recycling it. So the way that you can really push all of this different content out is that when you create something, then you sit down and you determine all the different platforms and the different ways that you can repurpose it instead of just sending one post. So you got to think from the standpoint of, especially as it relates to content creation, how can I take this thing right here, this creative thing that I've come up with, and then how can I use it across multiple platforms? Well, that is why, again, you got to have a strategy. Like there has to be some rhyme to this, some rhyme and reason to this. It just can't be happenstance, which is what a lot of people are trying to do as it relates to social media, and why it's not working is because they don't have any plan. They don't have a plan. They don't have a strategy. They're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants, and that's why it doesn't work. Social media is game-changing when done correctly. All right, so he talked about performance, and that was his performance on Facebook with it, uploading, or he created it on Facebook, he downloaded it and uploaded it on LinkedIn. Again, let's look at the different contexts. So the commentary he gave on Facebook, the way you build a culture is through your actions, not words, which more CEOs understood. The content he put in LinkedIn, you build #culture by backing up your words with actions. All right, turn your sound on, watch and tag a boss who gets it. Okay, so that was his context. And then he talks about the platforms you could post it. So that video slideshow can be posted on all 4 of these platforms, and that's another 4 pieces of content. So it took him 63 seconds to compile everything. And now in total, he has 27 pieces of content. That's his running tally. All right, so those were the 2 areas that we wanted to look at today as it related to having your social media strategy and implementing your social media strategy. We want to look at cartoons, drawings, and pictures. So now, here we go. As it relates to drawings, right, because that's not something that I'm familiar with. I wouldn't say that I'm extremely artistic. Would I try? Absolutely. I'll try to pull out a drawing, especially that dry erase idea. I thought that was very creative. And guess what? We have a dry erase board in the office. So come do your post on the dry erase board. What I do believe, though, as it comes to being creative, now again, I believe that all of us have the capabilities of creating content. The way that you continually have a constant flow of content, the way that you do that is that you have to constantly be growing and learning, right? So I believe that's what the key is as it relates to being in a position to constantly create new ideas, come up with new stuff that you can utilize on social media. So what does that mean, Mike? What that means is if you're going to be constantly growing and if you're going to be constantly learning, there are certain things that you have to be doing on a daily basis. One of them is you got to be exposing yourself and feeding your mind regularly. Now, whether you do that through reading books, whether you do that through listening to podcasts or watching videos like Create Your New Life, or look, learning a new skill, right? Whether learning a new language or learning a skill, something new that you can apply to your business, you have to be in a constant frame of learning and growing. Because as you're doing that, you're always going to have a pool to pull from to give and to submit onto your social media. At that point, that's where your variety is going to come from. It's going to come from you continually introducing new things into your brain and then regurgitating it in creative ways, that content across your social media platforms, right? That's how you got to pull it. Well, guess what? If you don't have a consistent diet of, new skills, new thoughts, new information, new substance, if you don't have a consistent diet of that, then you're not going to have anything in your pool to pull from when you want to deliver that through your social media platforms, right? So, as it relates to, again, I'm throwing out key pieces of if you're going to be effective as it relates to social media. One of them is you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. You got to have a strategy. Before you begin implementing anything as it relates to social media, you got to sit down and ask yourself, what is the overall outcome that I want to achieve with my social media? Why do I want to achieve that particular outcome? What's the reason that I want this particular outcome? You got to sit down, you got to put that on paper. And then after you do those two things, then that's when you go into, well, how am I going to deliver, or how am I going to implement? What are the actions or the activities that I'm going to do to be able to achieve that outcome? You got to go through that process first, and then you lay out the steps. And then after you lay out the steps, then that's when you get into implementation and executing on your plan. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing, the second big thing, after a plan and strategy, is you have to constantly be feeding yourself and putting yourself in a position of growth. You have to constantly be learning, right? One of the things that it took me later to figure out as it relates to rappers who are very articulate in their wordplay. What I realized, or what I had to realize was that the best rappers at wordplay and at storytelling were those that were always learning. Like they were reading, they were in classes. Like, I look at it, I'll give you some examples. Bun B. Bun B is now a professor at Rice University. For you to be a professor at Rice, you got to be learning. He's in an environment of academia, and that's why his wordplay was the way it was. He was avid. E40, I don't know if y'all remember him, but he got a PhD from UC Berkeley. So just like rapping, just like poets, just like playwrights, if you're going to spark ideas, just like authors, when an author writes a book, they have to go and research. What is that? Learning. That's putting themselves in an environment where they get new content into their brain and then they can now be creative and create something around that new information that's been placed in their brain. Well, that's the same thing with social media. You got to put yourself in an environment to where you're constantly introducing new content into your brain, and then it allows your creativity to take it and then take that content, and then now you can create something to present to the world to get eyeballs, to get attractiveness, to get an ultimate outcome that you're looking for from your social media, right? So that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about. That's what this series is all about, right? On us becoming better at doing that. So now, let's talk with the little bit of time that we got. What kind of feedback did y'all get from today's session? Latanya, Margaret, talk back to me. What are your takeaways?
Well, it looks like cartooning can be fun, and it's a cute little element to the social media, what you're doing. Give you a little more flavor, more characters. So I think it'll make it more attractive.
By having the cartoons and the drawings there?
Yeah.
Are you going to do some cartoons?
I would, but it's I don't want to get to a point where I get overwhelmed. So I think I'm going to pick, I like the slide deck stuff and the carousels. So I think I'll just try to focus on one of those.
So here's the $1 million question, Margaret. Have you sat down and put together your social media plan?
No.
You haven't done that yet. See, so that's the first thing you got to do. So you got to ask what outcome that you want. What's your outcome? Why do you want that outcome? And then once you got those two done, then it'll be easier for you to determine how you're going to execute achieving that outcome from your social media. So now, Margaret, are you waiting until we go through the whole series before you do it? Or when do you see yourself sitting down and when do you see yourself executing on your social media, your new improved social media strategy?
When I'm granted an extra day in the week to just sit down and do nothing but that.
Oh man. Okay, so you talking about you need another day. You need another day. You need a whole nother, you need 25 hours. I mean, you need 8 days in a week, huh? A whole nother 24 hours. Man, well look, if you able to pull that off, if you able to do that, then you need to let me know your secret so I can do that too.
I want to do it well, and I want to be thorough with it, and it seems like I'll need to devote time, so I just need to get clear and intentional about devoting the time to it, because it's something that I definitely want to do.
So you feel like it's going to take all day? You feel like it's going to take all day to come up with a social media plan?
I'm thinking maybe 2 days longer. But yeah, like you have to think it out. Then it's like different little rabbit holes you going down. Okay, well, how does this work? Where am I going to get my images from? All kind of stuff. I need some time. That's why I think anyway.
So why don't you just take it in bits and pieces, right? So why don't you first start with what is it that you want to achieve from your social media? So like if I were to ask you that question, Margaret, what is it that you want to achieve from your social media strategy? How would you respond?
Well, I want people to see me as the real estate go-to person.
Okay, so you want people to see you on social media. You want them to see you. You want to give out the persona of the real estate go-to person. Are there any other outcomes that you could think of that you would want from your social media?
Yes. I would like people to say, wow, she seems cool. What else she do? And then pop my other hustles on them.
All right. So you want them to to see you as the go-to real estate person, and you want to have an opportunity to showcase the other hustles that you're doing.
Yeah, my other endeavors, yes.
Other endeavors, okay. Any other outcomes?
You know, I would really like it to be fun.
Okay, so
I would like
so
to.
you have fun doing it. All right, so you want to have fun doing it. All right, perfect. All right, any other ones? So that's 3 so far. You have any other outcomes that you want?
I guess I would like to help the people and not just
All right, so you want
push
to.
them.
Okay, so you want to offer them substance that they can learn and grow from as well.
Right.
All right, so that's 4 outcomes. All right, you got anything else?
No.
All right. So did you write those down? Because, if you write those down, then you're one step closer to your strategy, right?
Okay. Item
Right?
down now.
How long did that take?
Maybe 3 minutes?
3 minutes. All right, so 3 minutes, and we already into it. All right, so are you writing them down?
Yeah. I'm writing them
So
down.
while you writing those down, I'm gonna see if I can get Latanya to jump in. Latanya, talk to us. What's your takeaway? Margaret, let us know when you finish writing them down. Tanya, you gonna talk to us?
What's my takeaway on what?
What's your takeaway from today's session as it relates to social media and your social media strategy? Like, is social media gonna be something that you're gonna utilize to build business, Latanya?
Yes.
It is? All right. So what were you able to take away from today's session or any of the sessions as it relates to you building your social media plan of action?
Putting together a cartoon sounds fun.
Okay. So I asked you the same question, Latanya. What outcomes do you want your social media to have? Or what outcomes do you want to get from your social media?
Traffic, give information.
Okay. So to give information, and then when you say traffic, meaning attention, like you want people to come to your social media platform.
Yes.
Okay. So that give people information. What other outcomes?
Build a audience.
Build a what?
Build an audience.
Build an audience. Okay, perfect. So now you got some fans, some people following you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What else?
That's all I can think of right now. What's
Okay. All right. Perfect. Margaret, you finished writing them down?
Yes.
All right. All right. So now, Margaret, tell me your why. Why do you want to get those outcomes? Same thing for Latanya, you too. Why do you want those particular outcomes?
Well, I want to be the real estate go-to person to increase my business.
Okay. So
close more deals.
All right. Close more deals, make more money.
Mhm.
All right. What other whys?
Yes, ditto.
The ultimate
Okay.
purpose.
Now, with my other endeavors, make more money.
Okay, so make more money with the other endeavors. All right, so that's why you want that outcome. All right, what else?
The next outcome was have fun, and I'm gonna have fun to live life.
And you're gonna do that through social media, do executing social media. That's how you're gonna live your life.
Well, I might as well have fun with it if I gotta get on there.
All right, if you got to do it, might as well have fun. All right, what else?
Then it's giving the people value. I want to give them value so they could see me as a resource, and ultimately I would hope to get more business, get more leads, close more transactions.
Okay, so all right, so you want to offer value so you can make more money. All right, so what you're saying, Margaret, is that you want those 4 different outcomes. The reason that you want those 4 outcomes is because you want to make more money.
And have fun.
And have fun. So you want to have fun making money.
Right.
All right, awesome. So now, is there a way, I want you to think of a why if it was something greater than money. And if you did that thing, it would ultimately lead to money, but it's greater than money. It gives you more juice. It's more exciting than money. If you could do this with your messaging and your content with social media based on these outcomes, if there's a more juiced why. And while you're thinking about that, I think I got Jess coming on in here. Jess, you want to say something to the people?
Yeah.
Actually, I do. I was trying to get my video to work, but it just wouldn't. Yeah, I was trying to share some stuff, but it was just wanted to chime in on what it is that Margaret, one of her concerns when it comes to the cartoons and things of that nature. I know like on the PDF there, I don't know if I can't remember if you showed it there as far as the drawings with Gary Vee. It could seem a little intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, I can't draw, things of that nature. But there's so many different tools out there. One that I am planning to use in the near future, and I've actually already kind of designed I guess you could say, a cover for an idea that I have to do. It is completely cartoon, and I use Bitmoji or
Bitmoji?
Mike, do you know?
Bitmoji.
Bitmoji. I always mess it up, but like that. That's a cool little way. And Facebook has even rolled out a way that you can kind of design yourself. You know, and I've seen that your head, you know, picture of you, a house above your head, and you're pointing up to it. You can just put an arrow up there. So if you can't draw, there's different apps that are available that you could use to still give that animated look and that cartoon effect, to where you can even piece those together to make a comic strip or make a story without having to be so concerned about knowing how to draw and things of that nature. So I would play around with that idea.
That's great. And then the thing about it is that it's such a creative post that even if it took you 20 or 30 minutes to do the post, if you can post that on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, then that's still 4 pieces of content that you're putting out in your social media. And you've thought through it, right? You've considered your outcomes, and based on your outcomes, you've designed your messaging to relate to that, and then now you execute it. You'll get a level of fulfillment. All right, so Margaret, talk to me. Did you come up with something greater than money?
Yes, traveling.
Traveling. All right, let me clarify. Did you come up with something that wasn't for you? It was as far as you helping somebody else, like a level of service, something that a contribution. That's what I'm looking for. Is there a contribution that you could attach your why you want these outcomes as it relates to contribution?
Oh, to help my family and people coming up behind me.
Okay, perfect. So the reason that you want these outcomes on social media is because you want to leave a legacy, sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
You want to be a launch pad.
Right.
For your family.
Right.
Good. All right. Latanya, what was your why? What's the why you came up with? Now, good. I need this. What we're doing is we're just going through the planning process, right? So, Margaret, this is not going to take all day. You know, we just knocked out. Been like 10, 20, 15 minutes, and we already hit 2 elements. So, Latanya, what'd you come up with?
I thought I said I would like to educate those that need the information.
Mm-hmm. And why do you need to educate those that need the information?
Because some people may not be informed or misinformed.
Because there's too many people out there misinformed. So you see yourself as a solution?
A part of it, yes.
All right, awesome. All right, what other why must you achieve that the other outcome? Traffic. Like, why must you drive traffic to your social media? And look and frame it from a standpoint of contribution. What you think?
I'm not sure what else you're looking for.
Yeah. Well, again, so I just wanted you all to this is something that y'all could do immediately. Like, we don't have to wait, right? Even if you said, you know, I want to send out, I want to have my strategy complete. Set yourself a deadline, and it's not going to take as long as you think it's going to take. It's not going to take as much time, and that's what I wanted to articulate here. Is that, you know, we went through the what is the outcome we want, why do we want that outcome, and then with those two things, now it's just a level of, say for instance with Margaret, all right, well, what kind of posts or what kind of platforms do I need to be on to show me as the go-to person for real estate, right? And then what kind of elements should that be? Should that be pictures? Should that be cartoons? Should it be, you know, decks, right? So that's the mode of thinking and planning and strategizing. That's where you want to go with it. And if you allocate, say, an hour, I'm pretty confident, Margaret, you can get the whole thing done in an hour and your strategy be complete. Sometimes it's just a matter of starting. It can seem so overwhelming until you start. All right? So those are the takeaways that I want y'all to have today. With that being said, do y'all have any other questions or concerns or comments before we wrap this thing up today? Want to say thank y'all for participating with us today on Create Your New Life. It seems like everybody's good. So let me see this. All right, so as you all know, before we leave, I like to let you know that our agents get an hour of CE credit before, as they participate in our Create Your New Life. As we talked about earlier today, there's an opportunity of at least an hour a week. Every week we do a session, they can get a continuing education elective credit. So that's outstanding, I would say. All right, the next thing is, if you're not a Brooks & Davis agent, and kind of we went through that process of coaching, that gave you an idea of what our one-on-one coaching looks like. That each one of our agent members have access to a one-on-one coach to help guide and think through solutions and outcomes, particular outcomes for them. That's what we do here at Brooks & Davis. So if that stood out to you, then I highly encourage you to click on that link, schedule an online or in-person appointment so you can learn more about our company. All right, and the final thing, it's all about social media. We're talking about social media dominance. These are the social media platforms that we are currently on and that we consistently post to that are a part of our social media strategy and our social media plan. So I highly encourage you to subscribe, like, follow, learn, and share the things that we put out on a regular and a consistent basis. With that being said, let me cue my music. And we can get out of here. No, we are done for the day. We had a great show, great session, great time together, great conversation. We talked about cartoons and drawings and how to utilize that animation to provide some variety to your social media strategy. We also looked at our Brooks and Davis real estate firm's mission, the thing that we do on a daily basis, and then we revealed our link to our virtual real estate rerun that we did a couple of weeks ago. It's on our YouTube channel. We have a playlist. You can now access that great content. So we're extremely excited about that. With that being said, I am your host, broker, CEO, plus realtor and business coach, Michael G. Davis, signing off, coaching you into the cosmos. It's time to take off. You guys have a great weekend, great 4th of July. Be safe, and we'll be talking to you soon.